Hi everybody and welcome back to La Capricornia with me, Priscilla Moreno. So first of all, you guys, for the giveaway, which I'm so excited about, make sure you're following me on Instagram because I'm going to be doing it on there. So I'm going to be posting something either tonight or later on in the day. And underneath that post, tag 3 friends that you feel would be interested in my podcast, and that'll get you an entry into my giveaway. So it's really that simple. Make sure you're following me. Make sure you tag 3 people. And then at the end of these 2 weeks, I'll be picking a name, 3 names, and you'll get my candle called Awakening, which I'm really excited about because I do feel I have the right ingredients in it, and that it's ready to help you guys manifest and get some answers. So stay tuned for that. Also, stay until the end of this video. I'm going to be doing your card reading for the week. So make sure you stay tuned for that as well. And this episode, you guys, I did do a little different. It's very unscripted, so excuse me. I'm not usually scripted, but this was just a little bit more like I wanted you guys to have authentic answers. Unless I did some research for you guys, then you guys are getting some of that in there. But hope you guys enjoy it. Let me know what you guys think about this. And remember to like and subscribe, everybody. Okay, guys. How did you get started with your spirituality? Okay, so in all honesty, there's no real pinpoint exactly of where it started. I've always had things happen to me that I didn't understand. I know growing up, what got me a little bit into candle work was my mom was into it. She got me a little bit into it. And then we had stopped for some time, and then I recently started it again. I've always found that candle work just helps me get my answers. I just found it, I felt like I connected with it a little bit more. I know I've said it before, and which is why I'm actually starting to do these candles, was that I feel more connected with it. And so in honesty, I can't give you how I started, because I'm telling you, there have been many moments in my life, whether it's been, seeing things, hearing things, or even talking to ghosts, getting into my card readings, getting into the candle work, that kind of got me into it. And it's always been something where, it was there, but I guess I never really understood it. And then I guess if you want to say maybe 2 years ago was when I was really I think I need to look into this more and actually start practicing this, and you know what I mean, actually get into my spirituality and figure it out. And that's how I got into that, which I know, I'm sorry, I'm not really giving a definitive answer, but that's just kind of how it started. And like I said, mainly was my candle work, and it's just my curiosity of how does this work? How can I do this better for myself? Putting more energy, figuring things like that out, that actually led me down that path. And then the second question to that actual question was I always in tune with it? No, I wasn't. So in all honesty, I did believe in it. I wasn't very in tune with it until, like I said, about 2 years ago, when I said no, I want to see what this is really about, and start digging a lot more into it, take information that I had before, and that led me on my path. Okay, how did I learn to prepare candles? For that, so like I said, I started doing candle work. I would actually go to this lady at my local botanica. I would always ask her to prepare my candles for me. And then when I started looking into, how can I do things for myself using my own energy, one of it was preparing my own candles. So then I started learning about that, the herbs, what days are better, and things like that. And that's how I started preparing them at that point. Okay, you keep saying awakenings, how long does it go for? Okay, that's another one I can't give a definitive answer, because I've looked online, I've read in books, and some people are oh yeah, you're gonna be going through an awakening for years. And then some people are oh, you're just gonna go through this for a bit, maybe a year and you're fine. And then, you get into this second part of your awakening. And then I've heard other people say you have multiple awakenings. So I don't really know how to answer that. I know for myself, I started my awakening, and that's what I consider was me actually being like, I'm going to look into spirituality and what it means to me. And from there, I don't feel like I'm fully over, but I feel I am getting to close out a certain cycle, where I'm starting more of a, intuition based, more self-confidence, and more just believing in me having the answers versus looking so much to the outside, which it's okay to look for things, but I just am not going to put so much of that effort into it. If I know I have the answer, I have to trust myself that I have the answer. Okay, you guys. Do your kids practice what you do? So they actually really don't. I don't force anything on them. If they ask me questions, I totally let them ask me the questions. I'll answer them to what feels right to me. But at the end of the day, I can't force my kids to stay on a path or to do certain things, and I'm not going to. I feel everybody has their own path, and when it's time for them to be on it or not be on it, it's totally up to them. I can't force anyone to do anything. Second part of it is I do nurture them. Like when they do ask me those questions or they have things happen, you know what I mean? Like I believe them. I don't just, dismiss it or tell them like to get over it or, anything like that. I definitely, talk about it with them and see what their view on it is. And like I said, I'm not trying to like force any of my thoughts down their throats. Again, spirituality I feel is to each person, and even though my kids grow up around me doing half the stuff I do, they might interpret everything in a whole different way, so you never know about that. Okay, does your family support you? I definitely feel like my family does. I've always had my family support. I feel like my mom probably is like my biggest supporter when it comes to my spirituality. I actually had something interesting happen to me the other day. Was a friend of mine was doing some healing on me to practice, and she was doing a reading after that to interpret it. So one of the energies she got actually had to do with my dad, and the weird thing about that, you guys, is my dad ended up calling me that night, and he, we were talking, and in the middle of our conversation, he's like, how are you doing? And I'm like, I'm okay, and I'm kind of like, we're in the middle of the conversation, and then he's like, no, I meant more like emotionally, and it really caught me off guard, because as much as my dad is there for me, he had never like questioned the emotional side, and I don't know if it's like a cultural thing or what it was, like I said, he'll have my back and stuff, but I had never had him ask me like in an emotional way. So it like really kind of threw me off, and I was kind of like, oh, like, and I kind of started talking to him a little bit more, and me and my dad have like a lot of healing that we have to go through just over the years, certain things, so it did help me a little bit in being more open to that versus being so closed like I always am sometimes, because that's one thing I cannot fault my family for, is sometimes I don't give them the opportunity to be there. Like when I was going through everything, I kept it all inside, and it was a mixture of everything, pride, thinking that I can go through this, embarrassment, feeling like a failure. That's just like a lot of things that I didn't tell them, but at the end of the day, once the truth kind of came out, and they had my back. And even coming with this was, I kind of had something going on, so I was able to talk to him about it. And it was a touchy subject because I wasn't sure how my family was going to react with it, but just seeing that he had my back with it for this situation that he usually doesn't, it made me feel so much better. And, it's definitely something that I want to work with him. And then with my brother, I definitely want to make more of an effort to reach out to him a little bit more. He's a Capricorn like me. He's definitely a really hard worker. Considering he's my little brother, I look up to him so much. He gets a lot of things. not just done, but I really don't 100% know how he feels about all this. Sorry, you guys, that was my kids arguing. It's been a little hard having my own space, because as you can see, I've been doing it from the couch, because right now I have my Halloween stuff up, and yes, I go all out with Halloween. So I have my Halloween stuff up, and I need to find a space. So we're gonna be on the couch until I get that situation figured out. But yeah, like I was saying, I don't really 100% know how my brother feels about stuff, so I definitely want to work on some things with him. Okay. Are you still going to a therapist, and how did you find one that believes in what you do? I'm actually not going to a therapist right now. We felt that it was time for me to basically graduate and move forward with life, which is a good thing, because I did have some things going on, so it was helpful, obviously money-wise as well. So it was just, it was like a mutual decision of like, hey, I feel like you're ready, and I felt like I was ready. And so that's why I stopped going to her. And honestly, I feel good. I've had moments of different little things happen, but I've been good in handling them. And how did I find her? So my work actually has a program that helps find therapists for you. So I was able to do that, and they connected me with her. It honestly was by coincidence. They do ask you questions at the beginning, like what you believe in and things like that. So I don't know if maybe that's what kind of directed me towards her, because at that point I wasn't spiritual. In this point, I was more of a religion based. So I don't know. Maybe it was just fate, I guess you can say, and I got lucky with her. Okay, you guys, what's the best message you've gotten? So the best message I've gotten was right before I moved here. I actually went to this reader, and she's really good, you guys. She just started saying how she even knew that I was going to move and stuff like that before I even told her. And she was just like, I see you making this decision. It's going to be good for you. Mentioned the move, mentioned this was going to be a great growth opportunity for me to be independent, even though it's going to be hard. And she just started, naming all this stuff. And I definitely do see the strength that comes with doing this, because, it is hard moving to a place where I don't have my usual support and I guess like my comfort. So I don't really have, that backup. And I guess that's what it comes down to, you guys. Like, I have no other choice but to like believe and hope that everything's gonna work out for the best, because I don't have anything to fall back on. So that has to definitely be my best message. And she also predicted me making a move into all this too, being more open to things and stuff like that. Does any of this freak you out? Ugh. Honestly, some of it does, you guys. So I think the parts that freak me out are when I get some of those like off messages. So one of the biggest ones has to be when I get the knocks on the door. So what I mean by that is I've had times where I don't know if it's like there's energies going a certain way or what it is, but when there's negative energies, like I'll hear a knock on my door. And I actually had this situation with a person last time where I didn't get that great of a vibe off of this, and I kind of had a suspicion about something, like with them being negative. And that night, I remember hearing the knock on my door, and I checked, nobody's there, obviously. And it's actually my room door, you guys. It's not just like my front door. So it did freak me out a little bit because, it's the middle of the night, but all the kids were asleep and stuff. And then when I kind of thought about it, because, again, this isn't the first time it happens to me, I kind of thought about this person and my feeling of negativity. And I was kind of like, I don't know. The next day, I kind of found out, like, kind of their true intention and stuff like that. And I was just like, oh, okay, this is why this happened kind of thing. So while it was a little freaky, I'm also starting to recognize the messages behind it. There's times where I've seen like shadows, things like that. I've mentioned before about seeing like the person at the edge of my bed. And then like there was also the time I seen actually someone outside of my porch. So yeah, it can be sometimes like a little bit like, what the heck? But I don't know if I'm getting more comfortable with it or what it is. It doesn't freak me out so much. And I think that's what doesn't freak me out either, because I don't get like a negative energy out of it. It almost feels like a good energy, so I feel like I'm being guided. I don't usually like follow anything or just anything blindly, because I've also heard you have to be careful with energies. Like I said, I am very intuitive, so I'll go off my feelings. And so far it's worked out the best for me. Do you get random messages or only when you get focused? I do get random messages, to be honest with you. I kind of wanted to say no, but there's been times where like stuff just comes to me. Like the other day I had this urge to like really reach out to somebody, and it ended up being good for me and for them. And it's almost kind of like I knew we kind of needed each other. So it was just like one of those messages, because what I had come in about that person also came in, like was the answer to their issue, you know? So I do get them randomly, and it's not always just when I'm focused. And then it sucks because it's vice versa. Sometimes when I'm like trying to focus and trying to get this message, I don't get it. So it's trying to work with it, you guys. It's just, it comes when it comes and it doesn't. Okay, one of the last questions is meditation for beginners, and you wanted some specific examples. So for that one, I can't give you too much specific examples, because I need to know what your intentions are with this meditation, because there could be anything from like forgiving, whether you want to remember dreams, quantum healing, going, connecting with your higher self, connecting with your past life. So what I did do though is I went back to my videos to kind of see if maybe I could get like a vibe, maybe kind of get in tune with you to see what to suggest for you. And one thing I noticed is a lot of the videos that I watch come from this channel is Jason Stephenson, and I'll reach out and send that to you as well, like direct message. But I noticed that I had a lot of his videos, and one thing that I do and I realized was I actually do go to this channel, and depending on what I'm trying to do, my intention of, I'll go through it, find it, and like I have a playlist together, so I'll put it on my playlist. So I hope that helps. Also, crystals recommended for happiness. So my first thought was rose quartz. I don't have any bracelets on it, but rose quartz is really good for you to help like love yourself, unconditional love, balance, peace. Like it helps you with all that. That's usually like the number one thing I thought about, but I did look into it for you, and I did find that garnet is also good for like joy, love, and forgiveness. Amethyst helps settle and clarify, which I actually use sometimes for my readings. And citrine brings light and happiness. So you can also use those stones if you would like. So, hold on. I did skip over one. Okay. Nope, that was it. Yeah, I think I went through all of them, you guys. So that's it for this one. Stay tuned, because I'm going to be doing your card reading right now. Okay, you guys. So for your card reading, sorry, I think my daughter was playing with my cards because some of these are upside down. Okay. So for your first card, you have the King of Pentacles. Basically, this is being confident in yourself, knowing you have that strength to, manifest that coin. It's pretty much acting like you already have it kind of thing. I'm pretty sure you've heard that saying, act like you already have the job. It's basically the same thing. You act like you set your intention, whether it's, money, career, love, set that intention of like, this is what I want to attract, and act like you already have it to attract it. Okay, your second one is the Judgment card. So the Judgment card is also telling you to be confident, follow what you feel is right. And I also got kind of a thing of like, there might be some negativity around what you're trying to make a decision on, what you're trying to follow, it's telling you to call BS on that, right? It almost feels like there's somebody negative around you, maybe saying like you can't do it or not to do it. But the Judgment card is saying like you know what's right, and the universe is going to give you exactly what you're asking for, and it's actually going to help you see the negativity behind it. So it's almost like, you know, you're getting your judgment of what's fair to you, what the universe it feels is fair to you, and it's going to get those blockages out the way, which is whoever's trying to send that negativity towards you. And your last one is the Ace of Swords. And honestly, it goes into with this one perfectly, because you see that sword, it's the pretty much slice through any of the illusions, anything negative, anything blocking you. And it's having that confidence, knowing that what you're manifesting and what you want is coming your way. So the overall message, you guys, is basically, you know that you're making right decisions. The King of Pentacles is like great at making decisions. He's the king, he's making all the right moves. Know that you're doing that. Don't listen to the negativity. You're going to get your judgment of your way, and they're going to get their own judgment. You're on the right path. Have that confidence in yourself. And again, more confidence, you guys, in what you should follow and what you believe in and what you feel is right. So cut those illusions, cut those people, or whatever it is out of your life, you guys, and keep that going. So that's it for this week. Let me know what you guys think. Like and subscribe. And do not forget to enter that contest, you guys. Have a great week.